Okay, guys, we are live. Pretty exciting batch of matches all around, I would say, tonight. It was a very, very good night. Obviously, the highlight of the evening would be the Hydra Stars doubleheader. Bit of possibly surprising loss for Stars. What did you think about that? About the lineup that you had to face, Bodrum?
It was tough. The first match, obviously, I felt was tougher. The second match was really just as tough. It was really interesting to see Tongpu in there because, we weren't expecting that. I mean, we were the first match because he was the only one logged on, but we weren't expecting that to be a problem. So I think that was what was most interesting.
Aaron, there's some crunching noises.
Mute your mics if you're not talking.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, yeah, I mean, before the match started, Rekla was on Gossip, like, calling out for Virus Day. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be ugly. This is gonna be ugly. And then, it actually ended up turning out surprisingly well. I don't think that was their plan to run Tongpu, but, it definitely worked.
And it clearly affected their mentality because they actually took out Perrin and put in Tongpu for the second match. I don't know if that was intentional or Perrin had to leave or something. I assume since he's on the call that he didn't. So I thought that was quite interesting as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I have to imagine they did not expect you guys to field the same team that you just lost with. So, mixing it up to some degree is probably not unexpected.
Mm-hmm. And the home field advantage actually did help. We had a different lineup before we realized Perrin wasn't in, which it wasn't much, it was just one person. But
yeah, that was obviously another factor. Home field was not a big advantage to Hydra tonight, obviously, because they kind of had to field who they had to field, especially in that first match. But you guys having the option on the second one. What was your initial pick, if you want to say? Obviously, you might not.
I don't think it would have been a huge secret. We were probably going to run Azure, who we thought could do really well.
So
but once
keep the flash and strangle, but not the double choke.
Yeah. I felt like as far as me and Kimpaz went, I don't think we were willing to trust the double choke a second time.
Yeah.
Though we do trust the double choke in general. I think Kid left the call, but he's adamant that it worked really well that last time because we actually had 3 people who could blind instead of just 2 this time. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a good point. So we're not giving up on the double choke, but we were not going to do that at all for the second match.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the more skill blinds you have, the more advantageous control becomes because, you get the dirt kicks to establish early control, and then you can piggyback off of that to establish the chokes.
Right. But once we figured out Perrin wasn't in, that was a clear. I mean, we were arguing about it at first, but I think we would have fielded Azure. But once Perrin wasn't in, the flash suddenly became less important because we could have Kid dirt kick just as well without having to make sure Perrin is always blind, which flash would be a little bit better at, or we could choke him ourselves.
So, Perrin, that first match was a little crazy. Did you guys lose control at some point in your mind, or did you kind of feel confident going through? I mean, obviously, to start with, I guess you guys must have been a little on edge just because you didn't have the team that you were expecting to field.
Well, actually, no. I've always trusted in Tongpu. I've actually, in the beginning, I told Darshan to pick Tongpu over Virusai because I didn't know who Virusai was. But for me, I didn't panic at all because, in general, it looked like Stars was going down a lot quicker. In general, and I know Tongpu did go down earlier, but by then everyone else in Stars was pretty hurt, almost dead.
I'm here, by the way. I'm just letting you guys talk it out.
Hiding in the shadows.
Oh yeah. Seeing if Stars will feed me any good secrets.
I had a lot more fun this round. I was a lot less focused on choking. I got to go ham.
Oh, I was gonna say next match we're gonna field only bloodlust people.
Sure, why not? Because Azula's bloodlust now, Azura's bloodlust, Kid. Do you have a fourth bloodlust?
I think I may have counted wrong.
Yeah, because Zygash is justice.
And this is why we lose.
This is why you lose. You can't count.
No, you guys should go with that. We would really appreciate the 3 versus 4. So
yeah,
just field only bloodlust, please.
Or you could just voucher in Zygash. It's fine.
On a side note, we absolutely wanted to play Laroon today, but we had a hard time getting him gear. It's been floating around from player to player, getting it enchanted and stuff. So that was frustrating because Laroon would have owned you guys.
I saw him. I saw him earlier in the day, and I kind of made a joke about it. About Laroon's on. Obviously, they're gonna field him, and it was a joke. But also at the back of my head, I'm like, it actually, a Jong is a Jong. Like it doesn't matter what race you are. If you're a Jong, you can go in there and mess stuff up. Tyro showed that back in season 1.
I really hate Jongs. Their weapon toss is a pain. But I have like a million weapons. I actually have like 60 weapons right now.
So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad pick. I think. I mean, just the utility that Jongs provide is there regardless of the race. You may be a little squishier, a little less offensive, whatever, but all the primary factors of the Jong are there regardless of what race you are. So I don't think it's a bad one.
And the nice thing is he shouldn't be spellbait, being a shallow elf as well.
Yeah, shouldn't being the key word. Sometimes funny things happen when you're a Jong, or when you're a bard.
He'll be pretty sunbait though.
Well, you get the. Well, I guess not that there's a whole lot of bashes in ACFL, but you do have the tumbling to prevent bash.
I mean, if you guys want to stun the bard and not stun the mages, I'm happy. So.
Well, the bard doesn't have spellcraft, so every failed song you heal is burned mana.
Ooh! Don't give him ideas. None of that.
So I'm trying to think. This went 1-1. I feel like, if teams have been forced to field the same roster as that first match that the rematch was being done for, I think Stars probably would have lost that as well. So I think it's interesting that even on the rematch, you lost quote unquote the rematch, but then brought it back with the regular match. I just thought that was interesting.
I thought that turned out quite interestingly as well. And I thought I made one note that in both of our matches tonight, no one suicided, which I just thought was ironic.
Is that true? No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's
well.
I didn't see anyone trying that.
Suicide, but Kemp has suicided.
No, I don't think Kupas did. I can't think of a moment where
he had like no health. He went and picked up the flag just to force them to come kill him, which they did in 1 round. So yeah, I mean, he suicided.
Okay, fine. I give you that.
I mean,
that was a distraction though. That wasn't a suicide. He was trying to get people away from their flag carrier because I was chaining.
No, it was
definitely
a suicide.
It was a suicide. There was a couple of those. I think
Azula.
Well.
Yeah, I think Azula and Kid went to the flag room where we were going to pick it up and died on us, and then Kempaz kept that 3rd flag. So come on, guys. I mean, it's completely legal, but it's not acid blasting the self.
Let's classify what is important. I did not suicide in either of the two.
You did not suicide. But you did do a lot of damage. You kind of messed people up.
I did a lot of damage to Azula.
I think you did a lot of damage to all of your team.
Yeah, it was bad.
Kempez says he calls it half a suicide. He also could have looked into a kill. But I'm just gonna call it a full suicide. I don't think he had like more than 2 chains because he went and burned all his mana on cones, and then went to pick up the flag.
Yeah, I think there was a little gap where we could have won that second match, which is that we were looking at the enemy flag room. We knew they were going to cap it. I don't remember this that well, but I think someone hit us to sort of interrupt us while, like, in that few second span, they got the cap, the middle cap, and I think that's kind of what did us in, because when we all died, it was kind of surprising. I think Asla is the one who did it, the second cap, right?
Yeah, it was Asla.
Yeah, so that screwed us.
Kempez says 350 HP, 350 mana, so he had a couple of chains in him, I guess. A couple.
Kempaz isn't a suicider like me. I'll just literally chain myself or ass myself. He's a good guy.
But I think it was interesting that, you know, I missed a little bit of the second match, actually, because I'm an idiot and I didn't realize the match had started. I missed the very beginning. But I'm sitting there, like, looking at the bet window, waiting to place my bet, and I'm talking to Puck about, you know, what's going to happen in the match, and, you know, I'm talking about how you guys, being stars, are a very aggressive team, so Kempaz is probably going to capture early, you know, go out there, drop a few cones, then capture the flag right away, because you guys you're very aggressive in that way. And then I'm like, oh, wait, the match started, and I go and I look, and yeah, Kempaz already has the flag.
I think the start of that fight, you know, I think everything after the start of the fight kind of played out pretty normal for how a 3-2 Stars game went for that second match. Like, it pretty much always plays out that same way. But I think that original fight was the most interesting in that match, because they beat us up pretty good. Like, Kid was hurting. We beat them up pretty good too. And then we managed to kind of take the flag and rescue across. And I don't know if they were trying to pick up the flag or we stopped it. But it was we had the first people die. So as soon as we took the flag, we took all the deaths. So I thought that was really intriguing.
But I mean, I think that's kind of standard for Stars matches to some degree. I think you guys have a tendency to aggressively push the flag, and that occasionally gets you guys hurt very badly. But what happens is you get a capture, most of you die, but you stay alive, Bodrum, and then you just delay and deal damage, and then your team respawns and comes back and wins 3-1.
That's a good assessment.
You were doing that season 3.
I mean,
I still remember that game.
That seems to be like the default Star strategy. You know, aggressively push the flag, get that one capture, your team dies, Bodrum delays, team respawns, Bodrum's still alive most of the time, and is there to support for the next wave.
You know, it's so unfortunate that there's RNG elements involved with Necros. I miss Season 3. Thanks for bringing that up. I love Season 3. Like, the big thing was, I thought the Dracolich thing was funny, because I just could not get it at the start in the first match, and I eventually got one, and it died, and I got a second one, so that was super lucky. But, like, for at least for more than half the match, I had no Dracolich, and the second time it popped right up. I was like, yes!
But, I mean, the Dracolich...
Rekla makes it really hard.
Rekla took it at one point. He took the Dracolich, and then he was sitting on Azula, charging her on your Dracolich. It was pretty awesome.
Okay, well, I saw Bodrum land, so I knew what he was going to do. And then I think I just spammed Rod, because I figured he was going to mount up on that. So that worked out kind of funny. But I can't stay on it too long, because he'll acid blast my ass down.
Yeah, but that's okay. You got charge when you're on a Dracolich.
Yeah. Shield Strike worked out better tonight, though, for sure.
I love Shield Strike. It's the most reliable non-power swing stun, I think. But I think I've throughout the commentary videos, I think I've talked way too much about shields. They're so good though. So where do you think this leaves the standings for the rest of the season?
For Hydra or Stars?
Both of you, really. I mean, let's take a look.
Well, we have to beat KCS on Tuesday. We have to beat Galaglass, and I think we have to beat Stars in order to get third place. So that's a pretty tall order. So at this point, I'm just going to try to play it out as well as we can. I think all of Hydra would agree with that.
That's provided Stars beats Galaglass when they next meet up.
Well, you used the double choke against Hydra, and you looked really strong there. And then you used the double choke against Stars, and you did not look so strong there. So I think the next match is going to be rough. Do you have something different planned?
Wait, is that to me?
The Galglass.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, if I did, I couldn't I couldn't share that with you right now. But we're gonna go out and we're gonna use what we have and play hard, and hopefully we can pull something off. Like I said, we really need to either. I was actually really considering that looking at all the standings and everything. We need to pull off a lot of wins and a lot of scores to get ourselves back into third place, really in a solid way. And I'm looking forward to next year, and I'm wondering if I want to do that, or if I want to put myself in the middle of the draft pick again and just kind of flounder around for another season. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe I start clearing the bench. The jury's still out on that, but I don't know. And then of course that's not even really my call, honestly. Obviously, I think I have some influence as to what happens, but it's really not my call per se.
I mean, it's still a super tight race, I think.
It is. It is.
Do any of you know how you stand against the other two teams, like Galglass, Hydra, Sharks? Do we know who's in the lead in those matchups? Because if it comes down to a tie, it's that head-to-head is going to be the tiebreaker, and that could very well happen.
I think Gallo's beaten us twice. Stars has beaten us twice. Because the first round we played against Stars was 3v4, which I mean not Stars, Sharks. Sorry. So it was a 3v4, and the second time they beat us handily. So even if it comes up to a 2-2 matchup with Sharks, they have the point advantage.
Yeah, that's why I say we have to beat Stars in the end. Like, if we don't beat Stars, we don't get in third place, because if we were to somehow beat Galaglass and KCS again, we would have a tie with KCS, I think, assuming that those were the third and fourth, but we lose on points. So we definitely have to beat Stars again, which I don't think anybody on Hydra is looking forward to. At this point, we're just going to try to play as best as we can.
So were you guys having a bit of a panic attack watching Brutes and Sharks the other night? And that's the Hydra.
Are you talking about the? Oh yeah. When you filled your Brute.
Yeah.
I thought
if Sharks had won that would have put you guys in an ugly position as far as getting that third place spot. So
I'm going to be honest with you. Like at 8, Virus Day didn't show up, Arog didn't show up, so I thought this was it for us. Like, I thought Stars was going to 2-0 us, and we wouldn't have any chance after that. It was just too much. And now the playing well against Stars, at least, which I feel we did, it's reinvigorated me a little bit. So, yeah, the other match worried, but I was sort of in the mindset that we were going to play as best we could the rest of the season and then focus on next season at that point. So tonight was a surprise.
So you're just feeling a little happier, a little more focused on this season now?
We're definitely back in the running, but we have a lot of work to do. So we'll just see how the schedules end up.
Okay.
I was definitely very worried about Sharks taking that win. I think after you got the first point, I was like calling it for the Sharks. But the fact that they didn't kill you, Grush kind of bit them really hard. Which is good. I wanted you guys to win.
I wanted us to win too. That makes us buddies. Alright, I think that about does it for tonight. Next week or not next week, what is it, Sunday? We've got Sharks at Quicksilver. Sharks are looking real scary even against other teams, so that should be pretty simple. And then Brutes and Stars on Sunday. That's going to be the deciding factor in the the tiebreak between those two teams.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how this has ended up so far, because I think Brutes want KCS to be in that third place, and I think Brutes want to be in first place.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think KCS wants Brutes to be in second place. So like the top 4 teams at the moment, I think Gallaglass still has a chance, obviously, but the top 4 teams at the moment are sort of intertwined in wanting each other to win a specific way.
Yeah, it's very interesting because there's every team is like trying to wants to maneuver, not just get themselves up in the standings, but needs or wants a certain team to have to face a certain other team. Like obviously for Brutes, if Brutes can take first place and force Stars to fight Hydra or Sharks, 2 teams that have proven to at least be threatening the Stars, if not having won a game in the Sharks case. It's I'd be very happy if somebody else could take out Stars in the playoffs again. So
All right, I'm back.
As far as how the Stars view it, because you mentioned how you guys wanted to turn out.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm just affirming your sentence.
We would prefer Hydra to not be in the playoffs. This is pretty much our number one thing. But we've always been that way. I mean, they have 3 bounty point skills that 2 of them are anti-mage, which makes our days a little hard. And you guys have mentioned it before.
Anti-mage skills.
Was that? Oh. But you guys have mentioned before, we counter Card Sharks pretty well. So we would much rather prefer Card Sharks be in the playoffs if we are not in first.
You think? I mean, what? I don't know. Slan has been showing up pretty big for them since that trade.
Yeah, thanks, Brutes.
You're welcome. I mean, that's the goal, right? I give Shark Slan, and then he takes Sharks and beats Stars for me in the playoffs. That's how it works.
Yeah, you're forgetting all the people that get steamrolled in the middle of that process.
Oh man, you shouldn't have given them Slan, because now what's going to happen is if I lost my train of thought for a second.
Now Sharks are going to beat Hydra instead of Hydra beating Stars.
Yeah, if KCS is in third place, that's bad for you guys. If Stars can get a win off.
Damn.
Yeah, those totally bit you.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing, Phil?
Hydra would have easily gone into third if Slan hadn't been traded.
I don't know. We'll see though. It's just everything is more exciting since that trade. So I'm very happy.
I like boring. Especially
I like exciting, and since the trade, everything has gotten way more exciting. So I'm happy.
And I just want to thank both you and Marcus for having done that trade, because I don't know why no owner has done a trade thus far. They all seem really opposed to the idea. I mean, the owners have changed hands a few times as well, but I don't know why we haven't had a trade in 4 seasons. That was ridiculous.
It might have to do with the fact that Darshan hasn't logged on since January 16th for Hydras.
Well, he's not there anymore.
No, Darshan has some very valid issues for not being on, so he's out.
There was a trade that got kicked around in Gallaglass a little bit that we wound up passing on, because I didn't see, as a collective, we didn't see how much more added value it would have given us. But in hindsight, maybe it would have been a good idea, giving us a little bit more variety. Because I don't know if I'm at liberty to discuss or not. I don't know. What do you guys think? There's a couple of owners on the call. What do you guys think?
If it didn't go through.
I mean, it didn't go through. It's not going to go through. But I mean, ultimately, it depends on the owner. Like, if I didn't want my team to say something about something that we had discussed, I would generally, unless it's like obviously sensitive strategy kind of stuff, I would typically say.
Well, there was a troll barb on the table, and we passed on.
Interesting. Very
interesting.
I
think trading, I think in ACFL is a lot harder than trading in real life, because you can't necessarily trust the players. Like, you don't know what happens if you trade a player and they get pissed about it and they never log on again. And that's not a problem you have in like the real NFL where they're on contracts. So
Right.
it's I think there's always that fear by the owners that they're gonna do a trade and just end up with dead weight and they're gonna feel horrible about it.
Mm-hmm.
Start ACFL fines.
That's true.
I mean, there is the like the blacklist where you can get kicked off ACFL for 2 seasons or whatever. But honestly, I don't even like that because the draft pool is small enough as it is without potentially kicking off good players for multiple seasons.
No. Our teams are also small enough as they are. If you have one bad seed who's ruining your season, it happens. One bad first-round draft pick like Victus ruins a season for a whole team that makes the ACFL less exciting. Yeah. So I completely disagree. I think there should be more penalties.
No, I don't.
Take eggs out of their alts. I don't care.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't do those things. I'm just saying it's like there is a downside to it. Like I absolutely agree that when somebody does that, like 100% they need to be kicked off, not allowed on, because they are ruining it for everybody. But at the same time, it does diminish the player pool.
Honestly, don't fill up as we will insert sleeper cell agent in your squad. They will play badly.
I'll tell you, we suffered a little bit with that Hourglass particularly. We had a few drafts over the years that really would have been clinch players or at least utility for us that just never showed. Dalwin for one, the Dark Dwarf Transmuter. We had a Bacali Assassin at one point. You know what I mean? And these are things like, you look at the utility of Slan or even Leighton now, and Leighton's role, which everyone doubted at the beginning, now people are kind of saying, okay, hey, maybe he can be useful. I was thinking of that when I asked for Dalwin, only I just didn't know that Dalwin was going to be a bust for us.
Yeah, trust me, I understand. I had the first season, I gilded somebody that told me he was reclassing, didn't. I gilded somebody, Illyria, who just like refused to do anything that they were told. So it was like, you try and lay out a team strategy, and then you have this one person. It's like, no, I don't like that. I'm just gonna run around and do whatever. And then you have like,
hey, don't talk about me like that.
And you have I had Mosley, who was one of the more consistent players in season 1, but was always drunk and or high, and also had a bit of a listening problem.
Are you sure you're not talking about Kid? I'm really confused.
You notice how everyone was all after that one. They're like, that could be any of us there.
I think the league should have league-wide testings.
Yeah, we need substance for illicit
steroids.
Substances.
Yeah, I don't think Kid should play on the next Hydra Stars match.
I have a medical card. Thank you very much.
If we're talking about substances, I think people like Bodrum wouldn't pass just because.
Yeah, that's true.
I think at this point in ACFL, there's a lot of that floating around, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's like Lance Armstrong.
Bodrum may be the poster child for that kind of thing, but
full of giant
at this point, despite my best efforts, there's quite a bit of it floating around.
Yeah, but he's Lance Armstrong of the... Yeah, definitely.
Well, no, because Lance Armstrong denied it.
No, he admits it now. Well, no, actually,
but
that's
now...
not... He's very honest.
So I have to leave soon, but I do just want to give a shout out to Tongpu because it was 7:58, and we were going to have to field a bandit, who has been really good for our team, but I was still scared. And he just shows up and he says like the same thing he said all season, which is, "Am I needed?" And every single time I've said, "No, you're not needed," but this time I was like, "Yes,
yes, thank God you're here. Thank God
please
you're
come."
Here.
Yeah, so big shout out to him.
Hallelujah.
Those spit blinds were annoying, I'll tell you that.
You can spit blind someone that's on a mount, which is very useful.
Why would that be useful? You should not play him again.
The only thing I could do is try to target head as soon as he spit blind me, because then I knew he couldn't blind anybody else.
Yeah, spit's awful if you're blind. Like, really awful.
I was like, great, he spit me again, target head.
Yeah.
But some very exciting matches tonight, guys. And yeah, I do agree. Tongpu, like, it's the first time Tongpu has been in a match, I think, and he freaking did work.
And Tongpu, he can't be drop kicked when he enlarges himself, so I couldn't drop kick him that match.
But he can't enlarge himself.
Or well, I couldn't drop kick him for some reason. It said he was too large to budge. He must have been mounted or something, or I don't know.
Enhanced
Maybe
constitution.
You sure you weren't on somebody else? Maybe.
No, I was on Tongpu and I tried drop kicking his ass. Didn't work.
That's
Maybe he's
too
just
large.
special.
It could be enhanced constitution. Do you know how that works?
Hard.
I don't think we know how anything he does works.
How high are you right now?
Yeah, let's focus on the root of the issue. How high are you, kid?
Pretty high. I ate a candy bar with 4 servings in it.
There we go.
Are you in Colorado?
Washington State.
Okay.
Where it's legal. It is legal now.
Oh, it's legal there now. I thought it was just in Colorado.
No, they were both legal at the same time. Oh, I think Washington had a delay on it or something.
But yeah.
Isn't a history lesson, guys. It's ACFL. Come on.
Come on, we're talking American politics. I don't know what this ACFL business is.
I think next season, Hydra will probably have a more varied alignment or not.
Yeah,
one would
Hydra.
hope.
Yeah, it was all evil.
That's
Oh, crap.
And that's the crazy thing is how effective Hydra can be when they're all evil. Imagine if they had freaking different alignments, man.
Hello?
I was hitting yellows and I wasn't sure I was on a mob.
It's the yo-yo!
I wasn't sure. And yeah.
Could be a
Honestly,
mob, could be a Zula,
I
who
think
knows?
we had a really bad start, with the DQ and then the 3 versus 4 against KCS. I think we could have at least performed better in those few matches. And I'll be looking back and going, what if a little bit if we do end up tying with KCS or, going lower than that. But overall, I think it came together pretty well, and I'm happy with the team we have. And then we'll definitely be looking next season to maybe get somebody who isn't evil. We probably won't draft a paladin or confessor, but we'll definitely look at a little diversity.
That Galaglass match, my computer short-circuited, so I was, for the first time ever, playing on my phone in the middle of that match, and they babysat me, and we still managed to come back. The fact that we got DQ'd for that made it really bitter. Like, I was playing on my phone.
Yeah, I think we had to play really well to take that match, and that's the only reason the DQ is a little unnerving, because it amounted to like a potion use, but we had to do work that match, man. That might have been the hardest match all season. Because like Perrin was like stranded in Africa, and he was like close to being
Singapore.
Dead. Singapore.
Africa, same thing.
My blowtorch, whenever I spammed something, it would crash me. Like, I would disconnect. I was like, fuck. It wasn't lag. It was just buggy program, I guess. And
Yeah,
it was the first time I've
blowtorch
ever
does
used
that a lot.
blowtorch. So I realized, first of all, I was using a swipe keyboard to type stuff. I can't see shit going on. And if you notice, I didn't get another choke done. And you can see that I do get lots of chokes. Galaglass is really easy to choke.
You should have made a macro or
I didn't know I was going to play on my phone.
You should be prepared for everything. Come on. You're an armsman. You're supposed to have, like, every weapon you possibly need at your disposal. That includes your phone.
I think I have more weapons than anyone else. Several of you guys combined.
Every time I look at your inventory, I disconnect.
No, that's not true. Wait, actually, yeah, you get to see the entire thing, as opposed to when I click I have to click Q.
It's at least 80 lines. I think my scroll max is 60, and it always leads to a second page. I hate you.
See, I can't carry that many weapons because I'm an ogre. I have a very small item limit, and most of that is devoted. All of that is devoted to
Potions.
like 1,000 potions. Like,
Honestly,
you know how
I should
I went
downsize
through
my
like 30 freaking true sites in that match against sharks. Like,
You can't choke if you don't have it up.
I know.
Wait,
that's what-
who here was saying they should downsize the item limit?
Nobody.
Someone
Nobody
said it.
here. No, it's on the forums.
I mean, I was the only person who was against that change, but that's just me.
I think people should be able to hold less items.
I don't, Grushik, I don't
think people
understand.
should hold less items.
Why don't you use glit pots? They're higher level and they last longer.
Because they could blind them?
Because they could blind me, and I could.
Are your saves really that bad?
Use more glit potions.
Man, I've seen glit potions blind the weirdest things. It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah, there's
Bar
no way I'm
tickly
gonna use a potion that has a maledict when I can buy a bunch of true sites And it doesn't need to be higher level because it doesn't matter. Like, it's gonna get dispelled. It's not gonna wear off. It's gonna get dispelled. Like, that's not the problem. The problem isn't that the detects are not a high enough level. The problem is that I'm a freaking ogre.
I guess we have different approaches. Me being basically a small race swordsman, just one step above.
I love how you say small race for something that can use two-handed weapons in one hand.
Yeah, I'm barely at that level, basically. Any smaller, I wouldn't be able to.
What? Oh, what just happened? What did you just do?
Who?
What did you just do? Who? Oh, he knows. He knows. He knows. What did you just do?
Little surprise I'm working on.
Oh no. Are you going Invoker? Is that what you're doing?
Would I do that?
Muter? Is it Invoker or Muter?
Actually, oh wow. I see. Level 2 mage. You finished all your tasks?
Of course.
Actually, I kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah, we already knew this was coming.
Yeah. Guys, I gotta run. Thanks for having me on.
Alright, yeah, thanks for
Take
coming
care.
on, man.
Alright, take care, Bodum.
Alright, so for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, Puck retrained. So he is obviously going. What's it going to be? Is it Muter or Voker?
It's gonna be Voker.
It's no big secret. Everybody will find out sooner or later.
That's gotta be Invoker.
We already know. We got 2 conclaves on our team. We already know.
You gotta have that. I don't know, man. Those DJs against Kid or against Kimpaz. That could be pretty painful coming from a Pixie.
Agreed, but that's one application. The problem is a Pixie is kind of how should I put it, frail. So I'd rather drop bombs than have to sit in front of somebody and use mouths. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, range cones or something.
Little Pixie casting, man. You start off with an imbue, you can just like forget everybody on the enemy team. How about that?
If it lands.
If it lands, you're a Pixie. Come on.
You can land on anything. Never mind. You make my saves feel really sad.
It doesn't really make a difference, though. I mean, I was casting all over Card Sharks in the last match I had with him, and we just couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, Pixie anything, I'm happy to drop kick it.
Okay, so hang on. Let's take a look at this. When is Gallowglass's next match? How long do you have to hit 51?
He has 1K.
Don't worry.
You have until Tuesday, but there's a double EXP coming up this weekend. Is that right? So yeah, you have until Tuesday, but there's double EXP this weekend. You got PC improved, so you can get all the important stuff improved. Like all the spells for sure will be improved.
But not dodge, parry, and all that dumb stuff.
Yeah, but he's a Pixie. Like all he's got to improve is dodge. It's not like he's parrying or shield blocking anything anyway. Right?
Something's better than nothing.
Nah.
I bet he's gonna 1K it once he hits 51.
No. No, you would never 1K on an Invoker. That'd be silly. It would take him longer for the card to be applied than it would take to level.
Alright.
Yeah, because you just go self-chain underwater or some crap. Not too hard.
Yeah. Especially with that kind of spell damage. Alright guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up with that bomb from Puck.
You're welcome.
That explosion.
I hate it.
Puck wants to blow it up. You're not Quicksilver, what are you doing? Alright guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the matches tonight. It was an exciting evening. And look forward to see what happens the rest of the season. Thanks for coming on.